So before we get into your backstory then, Pepsi, on the drive up here, you was giving a little details about this prison for young offenders. You had an experience in there. What went down, and can you describe what it's like going into that like UK prison?
So yeah, the the prison that I was talking about is a young offenders institution. It's called Aylesbury Young Offenders Institution in Buckinghamshire. It has got a fierce reputation in the young offenders institution estate. Um, it's for long-term young offenders between the ages of 18 and 21.
Mhm.
The worst crimes committed by young men that age that you see in the mainstream media, they will end up in Aylesbury. There is a couple of other sort of long-term young offenders institutions like Moorland, Swinfen Hall, but Aylesbury is the main one where they'll end up. And troublesome young prisoners can end up going there.
What was
The,
it like for you actually going in?
the day that I got told I was going to Aylesbury, I remember I was in Norwich prison. I'd got 4 years for a robbery, and I remember when they came to me, they pulled me out of education, and they said you're being transferred, and I was like, okay, no problem. And as we were walking down the, the sort of landing back to my cell, I said, "Where?" I said to the officer, "Where am I going?" And he said, "You're going to Aylesbury." And as soon as that word came out of his mouth, I was just struck with this fear. I went into my cell. The officer shut the door. I barricaded the door up. I said, "I'm not going." And all the mediators were at my door. And they said, you are going to Aylesbury. You are going the easy way or the hard way. And when you refuse a transfer, they'll jack the door. They'll come in, twist you up, cuff you, and then they'll bend you over like that and put you on the van. And they put me on the
Did
bus.
that happen to you?
No, he gave me some tobacco under the door, and I agreed because I knew that they would get me out of there in the end. So he gave me the tobacco. I took the tobacco. This was in 2000. Yeah, I was 18.
You're 18, okay.
Yeah, and I can't really remember the journey there, but I remember being terrified going to Aylesbury. I remember getting there and just seeing this sort of old, grey, dark building and going through the gates, pulled up, got off the bus, walked into reception, and the officer said, "Have you heard about Aylesbury?" I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, it's not as bad as everyone says." That's what he said to me. And they put me on the induction wing. Um, and then they put me onto the main wing. So in Aylesbury, what they do, you've got A wing where all the white boys, the white guys are, and the gypsy travellers. And then on B wing, it's all the black boys. And then when you if you get into any trouble or piss off the officers, then they put you onto the other wing.
Right.
Um,
All right, so let's just go back a sec because you jumped ahead there. So you said you were in induction first.
mhm.
So for these American viewers, a lot of them never even been to any prison in their lives. What is it like a UK induction? What does that even mean?
Um, well, it's a bit of a farce, really. It depends. It varies from prison to prison, but generally, the induction process would involve seeing the prison chaplain, seeing the education department, maybe seeing a personal officer, being told about the canteen, and just visits, general stuff like that.
So you gotta like fill out a questionnaire, that kind of process. Like my religion is this, my diet is this, my
Yeah,
medical situation is this.
yeah, all that kind of stuff is dealt with. Yeah, and then once you're inducted, you move on to a main wing.
Okay. So go on then. What happens on this main wing? How's that? What's it? What does the main wing look like?
Victorian, draconian, old. They put me onto B wing. I honestly can't remember more than two or three white lads on there. It was
Yeah.
all black lads. They put me straight onto that wing. When you walk onto the wing, all you can hear is rap music, mainly rap music.
Hmm.
You'll have most guys will have a stereo. Um,
So like where I was housed, if you had rap music on, you got your Walkman and you got your headset so no one else can hear it.
right.
Even with your TV in America in the prison, you got a headset plugged into your TV. It's like this clear tech TV.
Mm,
It's this plastic that you can see right inside it so no one can hide anything in it.
yeah.
So are you saying in the UK system, everyone's just going around with music blaring.
Yeah, it was
Wow,
always
that's got to cause some
noisy.
problems.
All night, all day, everyone playing music. Not all just rap. You have people playing garage, jungle, reggae.
Yeah.
But because you banged up so much, music is something that people use to kill the time.
Yeah, yeah, and I understand that. But does that cause fights? Like, say, like, or is there a certain time everyone says, like, I was in one prison where 10:10 was the rule.
Mm.
From 10:10, you don't make any noise, or you get smashed. As soon as those cell doors open in the morning, if you're being loud at night, jumping around, banging and things, 10:10 rule, doors open in the morning, your racial gang is going to smash you. So, was there like etiquette as to when people could be playing this music, or was it just going all night long?
In Aylesbury, generally people would just play their music whenever they wanted, but depending on what cell you're in, you can upset someone with your music 100%.
See it happening like that.
You can 100% upset someone. Emotions are high, people are angry, people are young, full of energy, locked up, and if someone's trying to sleep and they'll bang the wall or the ceiling and they'll say turn it down.
Yeah.
The person alive then has a decision to say all right or no and carry on, and then there'll be a fight in the morning. Yeah,
I see. So if you don't turn it down, so how many people are in a cell?
just one in Aylesbury.
Oh, that's good at least. So you're not like, if you got a cellmate who's into classical and you're into rap, there's obviously going to be a fight there.
Yeah.
So all right. So you're arriving, the music's blaring.
Mm.
You're thinking, what am I getting into here? What happens next?
Just a really intense environment. You have to have eyes in the back of your head. In young offenders institutions like long-term young offenders institutions like Aylesbury, you're not allowed in each other's cells. So all the fights
No cell visiting.
You're not allowed.
Okay.
Nobody's allowed in each other's cells. So all the fights happen at lunchtime, tea time, in the showers, and on association. As soon as the doors open, it just goes off. The officers stand there in groups of 5, 6, 7, 8 of them with earpieces and chewing gum, and they just stand there. And
so as soon as the doors open, it goes off. What do you mean by it goes off?
Just arguments from the night before, people arguing about Islam, people arguing, just arguing out the window about stupid things. There's always issues
What's
going
the age
on.
range of these prisoners then?
18 to 21.
Oh, so it's like gladiator school then.
18 to 21, full of energy, full of testosterone, all doing press-ups all day and night on the creatine, eating tuna, eating mash, just getting as big as they can. And I mean, massive units, 18, 19-year-old lads, just massive units.
Do they get steroids smuggled in?
Probably now, but I mean, this was 2000. At that time, it was mainly cannabis. It was mainly cannabis, hash, sometimes a bit of weed.
No heroin and spice?
Not then, no.
Okay.
Not then. I mean, the officers would run a regime of fear and brutality. As soon as you walked out your door at lunch and tea, they would just be eyeballing you and they would just bark at you. Keep on moving, away from doors, tuck your fucking shirt in, 2 bits of bread per man. And if you said anything to them or looked at them the wrong way or mouthed off to them, they would let you get your dinner, wait till you banged up, and they would all come up to your cell, all of them, and they just don't mess around there. They just take the radio off and come in.